What's up, guys? I've got two pedals here that I want to do a quick demo for you. And more than a demo, I want to talk about something sort of specific. These are two pedals from Earthquaker Devices. The one on the right here is the Dispatch Master, and this is the Disaster Transport Senior. And the reason I'm doing this demo and doing these pedals together is that both of these pedals actually use both delay and reverb together in very interesting ways. And part of the reason I want to do this is because, I've actually said in the past, I'm more a fan of having pedals that just do one thing. So I want my delay pedal to do delay, my reverb pedal to do reverb, and I want to control them separately. But I started to realize that there are instances when you can combine them in interesting ways and do different things, do new things that you can't necessarily do with a separate reverb and a separate delay, that kind of thing. And so while I was initially skeptical about these two pedals for that reason, I thought I would give them the chance to see what they can do. And I think, I learned something through this, and I think you guys maybe can too. So I'll tell you, I'm playing my Les Paul into a Matchless Clubman, and the dry signal sounds like this. So I'm going to start with the Dispatch Master on the right. And like I said, this is a combo delay and reverb. I know it's kind of hard to read those knobs. We've got reverb here, this knob. We've got repeats there. I can't even see them. Time here, and then mix here. So these two knobs on the right control the delay. This is the only knob that controls the reverb, and this is the overall mix. So just right there, this is what it sounds like. So you can hear the reverb and the delay both in there. And at first you're like, man, I can't control these things the way I want. You've got one knob for reverb. Let me turn it off. And that's just a delay. It's a nicely voiced delay, I think. And you can control the time. And the number of repeats. You can go short or fewer. Or more. Right, so, standard delay controls there. And then you've got the overall mix, which it controls the whole everything. So you might think, well, this is weird. Why would you want to use this? But you can't just have the reverb by itself. If you dial the delay out, you turn the mix down, and then you've got none of the reverb either. So that's kind of how this guy works. But the way I started to think about it is, don't think about this as just a delay or just a reverb or a delay plus a reverb or something. Think of it as something new. And so this little guy is voiced really, really well so that you don't actually need all those other controls. The delay is nice and dark, so it gets out of the way. It doesn't really stick out. The reverb is kind of the same. So everything sits behind your signal really well. And you can already tell that the delay kind of becomes indistinguishable. It kind of just thickens up the signal. So that's why I say, it's kind of like the delay is a parameter of the reverb, and it serves to just thicken up the reverb itself. So, if you turn it up, so I'll go ahead and just go here. All the repeats all the way up, reverb, I'll crank this all the way up too. Alright, this is all of everything. So even at the extreme settings, it sounds great. I think one of the hard things about delay is getting it to do that, getting it to sort of get out of your way and just give you sort of that washy sound. And this pedal just is dialed in so perfectly. that you don't have to worry about finding the exact right setting on your timeline or your whatever to like get it. This is just it. So if you're looking for a pedal that's like just a spacious, washy thing, you know, you can't go 100% wet. You know that your dry signal is always in there. But if you're looking for something that's just gonna like sit really nicely, you know, this is really great for that. I usually use my carbon copy delay for this purpose, but you know, honestly, I'm considering trying this guy out in that spot because it serves the same purpose and might be able to actually do more for me there, which could be cool. So anyways, that's the Dispatch Master. Let's talk about the Disaster Transport SR. So there are a couple different things going here. You got 2 delays. You've got 1 button for each delay. This button turns the whole pedal on and off. As you can see, I just have delay A activated, which is this top row of knobs. This delay is a longer delay, and it has modulation, so you can see the depth and the rate there. So I'm going to turn this on, and we've just got delay A right now. All right, let's see what that sounds like. So very analog voice, very cool. The modulation can get pretty wacky, which is fun. I feel like this is sort of in between like the darkness of a carbon copy and maybe the brightness of like a Memory Man or the Moleko 616 or something. And you can see the little LED flashes in time with the rate of the modulation, which is fun. So that's very cool, and it's, you know, got the normal parameters. Right, so that's delay A. We got delay B, which is actually similar, at least in controls, to the Dispatch Master. So you've got reverb, mix, repeats, and time. Okay, those are the only controls you've got on B. And this is a shorter delay. So you can take the reverb out. The delay itself sounds like that. You add the reverb in. It's a very different sounding reverb, right? But still kind of does the same sort of thing, right? It just gives you a cool sound that's kind of unique. And again, it's voiced very well. I feel like Earthquaker Devices is really good at voicing things so they sound good without having to have a zillion knobs to turn to get it to sound right, you know? So you can hear that's the full reverb signal in there. And again, the mix knob controls both the reverb and the delay. So you can't really isolate. I mean, you can isolate the delay if you want, but you can't isolate the reverb. So very cool, both those things. But the coolest part is that you can create some awesome sounds by combining these two together. So I can turn these both on, and essentially right now the delays are acting separately. They're not interacting in any way, really. But once I start messing with this bleed knob, that starts allowing the delays to interact. Let's hear what that sounds like. More prominent. So you just kind of have infinite possibilities here with how the delays interact and what's going on. do one delay really short and one really long. So this kind of does the same thing. It gets a real washy sound, but in a different way. And it's really cool. You've got one delay you can control the modulation on, and feed it into the delay that doesn't have it, but it has the reverb. Get it right on the edge there. So then you've got the one knob to just turn everything off, which is cool. I like the way the knobs or the switches are laid out for that reason. So that's the Disaster Transport SR, and hopefully you can see what I'm getting at when I'm talking about the combined features here. So the reverb, these are, I guess, I don't know if it's fair to say that these are mostly delay pedals with reverb as a parameter. I don't know how you want to describe it, but I don't think it's fair to describe it as just delay plus a reverb or something. Like the reverb adds something more than just a normal reverb would add because of the way it's voiced, because of the way it's placed within the signal flow here. You can do some different things with it which are not possible otherwise. And that's why I think this is cool. And I think that's why these guys designed these, because if you could do some of these effects with just a standard delay and reverb, then there wouldn't be really any point. And I think that's kind of why people see these and like, why would I care? Why would I want that? But there's just some really cool things going on here. You know, even just that by itself, you know, compared to the Dispatch Master, which is a very different, you know, it's very differently voiced, but still the same concept, you know? Let's turn them all on. That's it for these guys. Hope you enjoyed that, and definitely check out Earthquaker Devices. I think they're a company that's really doing some cool stuff, and I like companies that build pedals that aren't necessarily for currently known needs of players, but they build stuff just because it's cool and because eventually someone will find a use and a need for it, and I think that's very cool. And these aren't, you know, these aren't too out there. I think they just give you a refreshing flavor on delay and reverb as opposed to what's out there now. So definitely check them out. See if you know, if you've written these off, like admittedly, like I have in the past. If you just said, I don't need delay and reverb together in one pedal, that's lame. You know, maybe give that a second thought. See if this can bring something new to your sound and what you're doing. So, anyways, that's all. If you want more videos like this, check out reverbnerds.com, and I'll talk to you guys later. See ya.